You guys see this volume drop off here? You see how the volume has been dropping off here? Well, there's something called seasonality, and it's something I want to address a little bit today. And what tends to happen is that when markets are quiet and there's a strong tendency for that to happen in the second half or end of August and parts of December, is when markets get quiet. You may have heard the saying that don't ever short a dull market. And there's a reason for that. And so I want to kind of just take a couple minutes and go through that today. When markets are dull, some people are absent, or well, really mostly people are absent, whether it's, again, second half of December or late in August. The reason why they're absent is usually vacation, again, seasonality, so people tend to be out. Now, when the natural buyer in the stock, the natural investor or market participant in the stock market is a buyer. If you think about the natural buyers are maybe pension funds, insurance companies that have to allocate capital through a function of basically their mandates. So if they more or less do this on a very steady basis, and so the natural, if the more active investor, the more speculative investor is absent, and the natural buyer continues to buy, then the bias in the market, all else being equal, will be slowly, at least to some extent, higher. And that's more or less what tends to happen when, again, that's why the saying, never short a dull market, I think is very important. It's very timely right here in the second half, heading into late August of 2019. Now, it is important to understand there's always a lot of headline risk out there, and obviously headline risk here is at the current junction quite massive. But I just thought in general this is a fairly timely point in time to kind of talk about this volume drop off, and again the fact that you probably don't want to short a dull market, at least until you have another catalyst. In fact, you want to probably take a step back in general. So to me personally, I prefer to just take a step back from the market as opposed to not shorting. In other words, I wouldn't want to short it, but I also don't necessarily want to be exposed on the long side, because when market participants are absent, you can also you can see a spike in volatility, i.e. a reversion down in risk assets very quickly because of that lack of market participants. So if you look at this right now, just to kind of give you an actual update, we basically are in a very choppy mess. This is just the S&P 500 here. The SPY ETF actually is what this is, and you can see we're just kind of choppy. And I think the risk, if we get sort of not very exciting news, the risk is that we kind of continue to chop a little bit, maybe push a little bit higher. But if we do get news that's somewhat bearish, then we could very quickly see a move lower. So what do? Not to sound indecisive. Again, you wait for the news to come out. So that's really the best thing to do, whether that is you wait for seasonality to become more interesting again, whether that's then waiting until September, or you wait right now short term until you have some more commentary out of the Fed, which is basically what people are waiting for right now. That makes sense as well. So anyway, seasonality. Hope this is helpful. If you guys enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up, like. Any questions, comments, leave it down below, and subscribe to the channel. Take care.